Support the Amigos podcast and keep the Amiga goodness flowing for just $1 a month. Visit our page at patreon.com/AmigosPodcast.
Amiga, the first personal computer that gives you a creative edge.
Amigos, the podcast about everything Amiga. Amigos is a proud member of the Throwback Network, your home for quality retro podcasts. And now, here are your hosts, Aaron Dowdy and John Bodovkar Schaller.
Hi everybody, welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to talk about Flashback.
Yes. Do a lot of talking about Flashback.
But before we do, we got some feedback from last week. Actually, before we get to any of that, we got the biggest news of all. The biggest news of all is the 2016 Amigos listeners poll.
It's up there.
Right. I'm going to put a link to this in the show notes. I need all of our listeners to go to this SurveyMonkey link and vote for your top 10 games that we've covered so far this year on Amigos. That way, Aaron and I will do a top 10, and then we'll have our readers' top 10 as well. We want to know what you think. I think it's 46 games total of the year that we've been on the air. So make sure that you vote.
46? What episode are we on?
This is 49.
Yeah, but didn't we have episodes where like multiple pinball machine games?
Well, yeah, but then we also had episodes that were like interview with Paul Shaw and stuff like that.
And you went through and added it all up, did you?
Yeah. I do work for this show, Aaron. I don't just lay around.
That's my job.
No, I do a lot of laying around too.
No.
So we also, Dreamcatcher said the Brexit was an easier call. Do you know what the Brexit is?
Mm-mm.
The Brexit is the upcoming vote for England to see if they want to leave.
Oh,
the United Kingdom.
Yes. In fact, I believe I saw an ad on a magazine front page. I think it was a German magazine. It was like a big British flag. It was basically saying like, "Please don't go."
Right. It's for I misspoke. It's for the UK to see if they want to leave Europe, and they're thinking that if the UK leaves Europe, then Scotland's going to want to leave the UK. And if Scotland leaves the UK, then where are we?
Well,
we're qualified to speak on this, so I want to hear what you say.
I will say this. We are not qualified to give anyone election advice, given our current situation. That much said, do what you listen to your heart. That's all I can say. Honestly, it's a tough decision, right? So, good luck. We'll love you either way.
That's true. We will always love you.
We've always got the Amiga to bind us together.
That's true.
That's so cheesy, isn't it?
Love will tear us apart.
Beautiful.
Again.
You be Don, and I'll be Tony Orlando.
I wanted to be Tony Orlando.
Well, I can't have two of us.
Paul Kitching wrote in.
Which one? Paul Kitching 4.
Yeah, this is Paul Kitching.
They're like Mr. Wrestling.
This is the original Paul Kitching.
Okay.
And Paul Kitching, we'll call him. We don't want to call him Paul Kitching.
Is this awesome background?
No.
Oh.
This is Paul Kitching, who acquired a small amount of fame for doing the video capture on the Bedrooms to Billions Amiga film.
Oh, okay.
So the guy that set up all the videos of the games playing. That was Paul Kitching.
Okay.
And he said, since there are two of us both credited on a different Amiga film, I put in my middle initial on the Bedrooms to Billions film to hopefully avoid confusion. So he didn't tell me what his middle initial was, but if you see Paul
I'm going to guess X.
Okay, Paul X Kitching, then you'll know that it's Bedrooms to Billions video capture Paul.
I love
not Amigos background Paul Kitching. We like you both. I think we should change our tagline to Amigos. We bring Paul Kitchings together.
Or Paul Kitchen Amigos.
Yeah, that works too. Dar wrote in.
Who?
Dar.
Spell that.
D-A-R.
Dar.
You remember Dar.
I know, but that's just a small name. Dar.
Well, I can't help that.
Or if it's his real name.
Maybe.
Okay. I mean, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
It's an unusual name.
It's different.
That's coming from the Devil Bunny. And
True.
boat.
And boat. He said Brent was a great guest and hope he's on again.
Oh, geez, Dar lost cool points right there.
And Dreamcatcher said, "Wow, really packed show this week. It's all happening. Nice to put a face to the name, Brent."
Oh, geez.
So lots of love for your brother.
I noticed on the YouTube channel Brent was getting some dab, and I was
Oh,
baffled.
yeah, everybody loved him.
Oh my gosh! Trust me, you don't need him.
Dreamcatcher also wrote in and he said, "Looking at you guys superimposed over the rendered backdrop, I had to fight the urge to put a helmet over your eyes and give you navigational instructions to guide you safely through the dungeon. It was all a bit surreal." And he says, "It's a nightmare, Knightmare TV show reference." Now, I know that you're Mr. British Television. What is Nightmare?
I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of British TV shows, but I don't get the reference. So what? I give up. What is it?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd know. Dreamcatcher, we have no idea what you're talking about.
Dreamcatcher is pretty wacky, and he's pretty clever.
That's
Dangerous
true.
combination.
It's probably we're not on his level in many ways.
That's a fact.
And we also want to give a shout out to Andreas M over at AmigaFuture.de. He actually posted over there links to all of our most recent videos.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so
we're going to talk about.
He's helping us spread the word over there
Yeah.
at Amiga Future. We got more Amiga Future stuff to talk about.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Let's get right into it. Amiga Future.
Yeah, we've got our sampler right here. This was sent to us. We had a quick look through. Was this O'Brien's that sent this over?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, O'Brien's.
We did read it. You can see it's in lovely full color here. I looked at it about 2 weeks ago, and the Boat had to flip through it here. What'd you think, Boat?
Well, there were some parts that I really liked a lot. I thought that the presentation is second to none. It's full color.
Yes.
It's laid out well. You can read all the text. The graphic artists that put it together know what's going on.
Absolutely.
It covers news. It covers games. It covers utilities. It covers hardware. It runs the gamut. I mean, how many pages is this?
It's many pages. Let's go with 50.
50 pages. So in 50 pages, they pack in pretty much everything you need to know to keep updated on the Amiga scene. The bad part is, and it's through no fault of their own, but some of the reviewers, I think, either these reviews are being translated through some software, or maybe English is not their first language, so they're not the most flowing, easy to read reviews. But this is from Finland.
Or
DE,
sure.
AmigaFuture.de, that's Germany.
Okay.
So these guys, let me tell you about my German. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's non-existent. I'm not going to complain too much about that, but it's nitpicking, really. The magazine is great. If you're at all interested in Amiga and you like getting physical magazines to thumb through, wherever you are in your house that you like to do that, then check out Amiga Future. It's highly recommended by me.
Yeah, Boat likes it. I echo a lot of the sentiments. The language thing, I mean, it's actually fine. It's not. I mean,
it's not terrible at all. Like I said,
not.
I had to work hard to find something negative to say.
Yeah, it's not. You know what's? I'll tell you, there's a couple that I really liked. I'm such a schmuck, but it was neat to go through a magazine and see modern Amiga ads.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
I saw
cool.
Amiga stuff in here. I was just like, wow, this reminds me of going back and reading my old Amiga magazines when they were current, and it's so great. The articles, at least in the issue we looked at, there were many different, reviews of different. I mean, they ran the gamut, like Boat said, and I enjoyed it even more than I thought I would. Frankly, I read it. I pretty much read it cover to cover. Like I said, it's been a few weeks ago, but I mean, I learned some stuff I didn't know. They cover some of the stuff that we don't really cover that much.
Yeah, like mods. Like
Yeah.
there's a new mod coming out for the Dune game.
I mean, they go into some hardware. Like a good example, the DF0 selector thing. I was baffled as to why you would need that. And I read this. I'm like, well, that's an awesome. It was good. I was like, I can understand that. They C64 Forever did a little thing on that, which we don't really go into C64 that much yet, but it's good to know. One thing I was going to mention, and this is a happy coincidence, but they did a quick little review of X Bench in here. Now, X-Bench, if you'll remember, gosh, how long has it been? It's been many early episodes. That was when I did a little mention of X-Bench. It's a little front end for the Amiga, the real Amiga, for games. It gives you basically a joystick-driven front end. It's really nice, and they do a nice little write-up on it here. And I wrote the author of this, gosh, it's been probably 4 months ago. And I never heard from him, but I actually heard from him this week, ironically enough. And he thanked me for writing for me, told me my message got put in another folder or whatever. But real nice guy. I guess he's still working on X-Bench. It's a registration for X-Bench. It's literally just sending whatever you can afford. It's worth a couple bucks. I recommend everybody try this out. It's a good little program. He's a nice guy. We'll put a link up for his webpage. I found out about it in a forum, ironically, but he's got a webpage going for it now. So it's a good thing if you're looking for a good front end for your Amiga. It's a good choice. But overall, magazine, I give it a thumbs up. It's not. I don't know what's it cost to get this thing shipped into America. Do you know off the top of your head?
Boy, I don't.
It was
know.
What is it? I don't know. It's probably like $20, something like that. I can't remember what time it is, but I mean, it's a good deal. I'm seriously considering actually picking up a magazine just because I had so much fun looking through and seeing new stuff.
Yeah, and it's nice to have physical paper to flip through.
Yeah.
The way that you can browse through stuff and just kind of open it at random.
I mean, me and both usually will pick up the old Retro Gamer now and again, but the thing about Retro Gamer, it's really expensive in the States. I mean, it's really pricey. I mean, I don't know what we paid for. Oh, this one here was like
$12.50, right?
This one was like, it was after tax. It was like $14, something like that. They're pricey, and they don't cover just Amiga. Obviously, they cover a lot of stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's a great magazine. It's expensive. It was nice to see all the Amiga specific ads and the Amiga specific topics. So yeah, overall, thumbs up, and thanks again to O'Brien's for shipping us out the magazine. We appreciate it.
Yeah. We've got some site updates this week. Of course, Dreamcatcher, he's been writing up a storm.
She's a machine.
There's a great article about the often launched, often canceled Leisure Suit Larry movie.
Did you ever play Leisure Suit Larry back in the day?
Yeah, I played it when I was way too young to have played it. There is the review about the game called Pinky and how it's connected to a British kind of pop starlet. What do you know about the British school system?
Very little, to be honest with you.
Well,
I mean,
because he said he was talking about like junior school math problems. So when you think junior school, what do you think the age range is?
Let's say 8 to 12.
You're pretty close. So this is what UK schools are called. Okay.
All right.
First of all, they've got infant school.
Infant school. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that nursery school?
Well, it's 4 to 7.
Wow.
So we always think about infants as being babies.
Yeah, that's really weird, isn't it?
Yeah. And then there's junior school, which is 7 to 11.
All right.
And then they've got secondary school or grammar school, and that's 11 to 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have college from 16 to 18. So college is, and they call what we call college university.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I learned that from watching Young Ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you know about O levels?
O levels, that was also in Young Ones.
Okay. So they don't have O levels anymore. That's old school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now they have GCSEs, and you take those between 14 and 16.
Okay. What's that stand for, Boat?
General Certificate of Secondary Education.
Okay.
I had it written down.
Oh.
So anyway, now we know about the British educational system.
Yeah, I had no idea, honestly.
Yeah, I always thought, because everything that I know about the British educational system I learned from Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. It turns out that it's not the best place to learn about the British educational system.
What years do they concentrate on the magic?
Well, they start when I think it's like 12 or 11 to 17.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of you could call it a grammar school of magic.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like those movies, I'll be honest with you.
You didn't?
Nah.
Did you like the books?
I never read those books. I'm an adult, you see. I don't read that stuff.
Right. You like grown-up stuff.
Yeah, like comic books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In pro wrestling.
That's right.
So,
Is that a knock vote?
no, I like pro wrestling too. What are you thinking?
Actually, it's for idiots, though, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, no.
So, Amigos, we revisit some things. Now, this is a new series where we have Amigos Plays, which is where we play it the first time, but I didn't want to just say Amigos Plays again. I guess I could have.
Amigos more plays.
Sometimes I think about things too much, but I always want to compartmentalize everything. And so these are called Amigos Revisits. And we did this with when Brent and Aaron were here last week, and I've got almost all of them up. I've got Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2. If you watch our original Let's Play videos of these games, you need to watch our Revisits videos because Brent and Aaron are much better at fighting games than Chad and I are. And they actually show that you can do a lot of cool stuff.
Did you actually revisit Street Fighter? I don't remember seeing the first one.
Well, Chad and I did it when you weren't here.
Oh, I see.
And then remember we talked about
I didn't know. I don't think I've seen that one. Have you put it up?
Maybe. I think so.
I don't.
No, I put up a lot of stuff that oh, well, I don't know.
He may not have put that one up yet, so we may revisit it before we actually see it the first time.
That may be true, folks. And there's also Dreamcatcher just in the past 2 days has written like 3 more new articles. So go over there and check them out. They're a good time. My wife's home. Hello. So it's time. It's time to talk about Flashback.
It's time to talk about Flashback. Well, let's talk about it. What do you think?
Well, first a little bit of
Copious notes
background.
here. Oh, we forgot to talk about something else.
What's that?
Hold the
Okay.
phone. It's not time to talk about Flashback, guys. Forgot one more thing here, and that is the new Win UAE that's just been released.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this. This is huge.
This is a pretty big deal. 3.3 final. This has added a bunch of features. I'm just going to mention a few. I'm sure people that are into Win UAE probably already know about this, but if you're like me and you got caught with your pants down, they've basically added some support for some new expansions. The directory hard drives and have on-the-fly removal and insertion. They've got clipboard sharing, virtual mouse driver, magic mouse, tablet mode, AUE net device stuff. Lots of updates. Game ports panel update apparently. They now support Nero NRG CD image, which is great because I had a bunch of those and I had to go and do a bunch of crap to get to work, pain in the butt. They did a bunch of fixes, a bunch of other stuff, but the long story short is it's supposed to be screaming and improved in many ways. So if you are one of the people that have to emulate the Amiga, time to update. If you're like me and you're lazy, I never want to update, but this is the one you want to go on. Anytime they release have a final release, you want to go get it. And this is supposed to be real nice. Tons of bug fixes too. Some real-time clock stuff, some mounting stuff that wasn't working right, fixed up. So good time to go get it.
You know what I always think about when I look at the side of your glasses?
No.
You know that part in The Wiz where they go to the Emerald City and like the colors change when Richard Pryor tells them to?
Yes.
Well, the part where they're gold and then it's like gold and they go solid gold, and there's a guy that's wearing glasses that not the front part of your glasses but the side of your glasses looks like that guy.
Oh yeah.
So every time I look over at you, all I can think about is Quincy Jones playing the piano in that part.
That's not bad. These glasses are very polarizing. There's a camp of people that love the glasses. I get compliments. Those are some awesome glasses. Then there's some jive turkeys over here that aren't down with the way that I work it.
Well,
there you go. So yeah,
we leave those folks.
Yeah,
They don't matter.
Yeah. And the Wiz, not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So
I'm playing trombone in the Wiz. Did
Really?
I tell you that? We're doing it in the Light Opera Guild.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think you put
last 2 weeks of this month.
You're multi-talented, multifaceted. Are you providing the special effects or lighting?
Oh, I wish I was.
No,
Unfortunately,
they don't know about your hidden talents, do they?
No. I wish I could play trombone and do the lighting. At the
I
same
should get
time.
my baritone down here.
That's true.
You could get your trombone, and I could stink up the joint while you humiliate me.
We could play some popular Amiga hits
Oh.
on the baritone and trombone.
Oh boy!
Watch out, Alistair Brimble.
Yeah,
We're coming for you.
We'll redo the Turrican 2 soundtrack in brass.
Watch
deep
out
brass.
for that Kickstarter.
All we need is to get Hoser with the tuba. Just complete the ensemble. We're off the rails here, Boat. Big
All
time.
right, we're getting back on Flashback. So this has a subtitle. Did you know that?
I do know it, but I don't remember what the subtitle is.
The Quest for Identity.
Yes.
So this is this was released in 1992, and it was developed by Delphine Software of France.
What do you think about Delphine? They've got an interesting back catalog.
What else have they done?
Well, on the Amiga, they did a game called Cruise for a Corpse. That game keeps coming up.
We
We
take
should
a look
put
at
that on the list, too, because,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the 10th time. They did a game I totally forgot existed called Future Wars. You ever seen this?
Boy, isn't that Shatner TV show?
No. That's Tech War.
Okay.
No, Future Wars was a like a point-and-click adventure type game. All right? And, the graphics in it are similar to Flashback in some ways. I mean, I thought it was a neat game back in the day. I don't know how popular it was. They did another game called The Stealth Affair, which I believe in America they actually turned into a Bond game.
Okay.
I think it was like Operation Stealth Affair or something like that. I didn't play the American version. I played the PAL version. It was a good game. You know, I thought it was kind of neat. So, I mean, they have a decent... Oh, of course, did I mention they did an Out of This World?
Yeah. Which is
Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Similar to this.
So it's kind of the sister game.
Well, much like a lot of people, which I also thought this for the longest time, thought this was the sequel to that. Well, they have no connection.
Yeah.
But-
They're both rotoscope platformers.
Apparently, young Aaron didn't pay attention to these things. I was like, well, it looks the same. Screw it. How's Prince of Persia fit into this trilogy?
Right.
You know?
It was published by U.S. Gold in the United States and Europe, and that is not the way you want to go most of the time.
Well, the U.S. Gold hooked onto a winner, though.
Right.
They? Yeah.
So, every, what is it, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while?
Well, I mean, U.S. Gold, they had some good stuff, too. They were a mixed bag. For
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So what about was this ported to anything else?
Oh, yeah. Everything else. It's funny. I've played several. In fact, this week even, I played some of these ports. The usual suspects. And then a couple extras. The Archimedes, our old buddy.
Yes.
The Mac. The Jag.
Oh.
Sorry, Jaguar.
Man, we need to check that out.
Yeah. The FM Towns Marty. I was looking to get one of these. I've got to try one of these FM Towns Marty. Another thing that keeps popping up. Mm-hmm. It's like the Cruise for a Corpse of consoles. The NEC PC 98.
Okay, that's the obscure Japanese
Yeah,
PC.
I don't know. Yeah. Super Nintendo PC, of course. The CDI. Probably one of the better games in the CDI. We'll get a slim competition. The Genesis, which I played this week. The Sega CD. I wonder what the difference are on those.
Probably not much.
Maybe had might have had a CD soundtrack.
Yeah, Red Book Audio.
The one that I thought was interesting, I'd like to see this on there, would be the 3DO. Now I've got Out of This World / whatever the other one, and on the 3DO, and I think it's the best version. I mean, it is stunning looking how good it is in 3DO. And the 3DO again, much like the Jag. There's not a ton of great games on there, so you might have to pick this up for the 3D and see how it looks. But I'll tell you something, all the ports, I looked at a bunch of reports for the show, and they all look pretty similar. The cinematics look pretty similar. It looks like it was a pretty easy port across the board in terms of, I mean, they kept pretty much the same game right down the line. So, the guy that did this game, did a little reading on this fella. Frenchman, of course, newsflash, like that Boat mentioned, Delphine was a French software company. And the guy that was behind this particular game was a guy named Paul Cousset. Can you want to try it? Paul Cousset?
Yeah, I think that's good.
I think that's him. This was his baby, His partner did Out of This World or Another World. And he did this one. This game was well received. Obviously, it got so many ports, it's ridiculous. It's one of its taglines, and I remember seeing this in ads. Was CD-ROM game on a cartridge. That's how they built it. and you could buy it. I mean,
You know, this just seems like, and I didn't look at that. This just seems like this was a game that was built for the 32X. Maybe it came along a little bit too early for it, but this just seemed like the kind of game where that's the whole point of the 32X was like, we're giving you these bigger, better games on this cartridge format.
and you know, the funny thing is, though, as far as I could tell, as we mentioned, it got all these ports, and I didn't read anywhere where the game changed much at all. I know that the Super Nintendo version was censored in a couple places, but otherwise, it looks like it was. I mean, I don't think they took advantage of, say, the extra abilities of the Jaguar, for example, to enhance the game. I don't know, but I mean, everything I looked at stills and video. A lot of these ports, they looked pretty much. Maybe the resolution was a little bit up and down, pretty much exactly the same. This thing shipped on 4 discs. It ran on the plain Jane Amiga. It didn't really need special equipment. The funny thing is, my version won't run on the 1200. I don't know.
Really?
On the WHD, I don't know why. So I had to go and get discs and run it that way. There are 7 levels in the game. The game sort of starts out. The premise of the game is you're basically being chased. At the very beginning of there's a cinematic. Your guy gets on like this, almost like a bike from Jedi.
Right. It's a cool looking bike.
Yeah, and he's being chased by this massive ship that shoots him down over this jungle. And you start out in a jungle, and you basically don't know what the hell's going on, which is sort of like you in real life.
Right.
Now, I would like to tell you about the many awesome things that happen after this, but if you watch our streaming video of us playing it, we all stunk. I mean, big time. I've never been good at this game. And herein lies the problem with this game for me. I can't control this thing to save my life. I can't make jumps. I can't make precision turns. I can't do jack squat.
And a lot of the problems, I think, come from the smallness of the largeness of the environment. No, I'm not saying that correctly. There's not enough environment on the screen. So like there's one jump in particular where you have to go to the screen because this is not a scrolling platformer. You have separate screens, just like Pitfall, you know. And so there's one where you have to get a running start on the screen before, and then as soon as the scene switches, you have to jump. And it's very, very awkward and difficult to do.
It is. As we proved by failing time after time.
Yeah.
The controls on this, the Amiga, of course, you've got your one button, and you've got a space bar to access your inventory. Your guy can't run with his gun out. You have to put that up. So you've got to toggle back and forth between the joystick and the keyboard. Pain in the butt. Let's be honest. I watched a long play of this game, and someone's a better player than I'll ever be. I honestly have never been able to control this game. I'd say I'm a pretty decent hand at Prince of Persia. I'm a decent hand at Out of This World, but this game I cannot control it at all. The thing is, what really frustrates me about it is it looks great. I love everything about it, and I've tried it on different consoles. You know, I've played it on the PC. I never have been able to control. I mean, the controls are pretty much standard across the board, except on the Genesis you'll get more buttons, you know, for the obvious reasons. But I mean, I sucked at all of them. The timing I don't get. I just don't get it. And so that's going to feed into my overall review of this game because as much as I want to play it, I just can't control it. And I know you had a similar trouble.
Yeah, it was very difficult to control. When you're firing your gun, like these are the things that look cool. When you draw your gun, it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
When you crouch down and you're firing the gun and you have the recoil, it looks cool.
When you roll,
when you
walk like James Bond,
right?
That looks cool.
All of these things that are a direct result of the rotoscoped animation are cool.
Yes.
But and I don't know. We haven't done Prince of Persia yet.
It's on the list.
It's got to control better than this game.
Have you ever played Prince of Persia?
I've never played it.
Wow. Prince of Persia is a good game. Jordan Mechner, he's the guy that came up with the whole rotoscoping gimmick on the computer game. if you don't know what rotoscoping is, and I wasn't 100% sure until I looked it up, it's where someone traces individual frames of shot footage. Good example of it would be the old Max Fletchner Superman cartoons. If you saw the animated Lord of the Rings, they use that technique in there. It's
the heavy metal.
Heavy metal, absolutely. So it's a neat technique. It works great, and that's something else. Flashback, the guy moves awesomely. He looks great. He jumps, he runs, he dives, he does everything that looks cool, just like Prince of Persia. The difference between this and Prince of Persia, the similarities are there more than the differences. Prince of Persia controls kind of awkwardly at first until you get used to it, but I got used to it and it worked. There's less to worry about in Prince of Persia. Yes, you have a sword you can draw. Yes, you can't run with your sword out, but it just wasn't as big a hassle to me as getting around in this game. Prince of Persia, to a certain degree, requires some precise jumping, but I don't know. I could do it there. I can't do it here. I don't know what the difference is. Honestly, another world, the same thing. I could get around pretty well. This one, I just could. I couldn't do it. I mean, I know it's. I feel like a broken record. I can't make it work right. Mm-hmm. And I've tried it. I thought, well, maybe my Amiga stick can't do the job. So I ended up, like I said, I tried it on the Genesis. We tried it here with your Xbox stick, and every one of them, it was exactly the same. I would run. I wouldn't jump. I'd hit a wall. This game is very frustrating to me. It was so hard to get around, and I was so bad at it that I wanted to kick the screen.
Yeah.
So I mean, I will say the watching a guy play it, there are 7 levels, and really one of the levels is basically one level where you sort of run these missions out of it. It's got a neat plot. The bad guys in it are neat. It's not like tons and tons of them, but they're interesting, and they're also well rotoscoped. There's one bit where you go in I think it's called the Death Tower game show, where you're basically sort of like a running man. This game takes pays a lot of tributes to a lot of movies like Running Man, Blade Runner, Back to the Future, a lot of
sci-fi tropes.
Right. What's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he goes to Mars?
Total Recall.
Total Recall. So there's some of that thrown in there. Even the fellas that made it mentioned that those movies they used as inspiration for it. All good. The cinematics in between scenes are outstanding. They're very well done. They look cool. They use the in-game engine sort of. I mean, they look sort of like what would be happening. Mm-hmm. It all flows with the game. It's not, you're not suddenly jarred out of the reality of the game.
If they could have made this where the environment scrolled seamlessly, and maybe just kept you in the middle of the screen or something like that, that would have helped a lot. And I don't know, because I don't know anything about how game development works. I don't know how you tighten up controls. Maybe it's just a factor of rotoscoping, but you say that in Prince of Persia you have an easier time controlling it.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you're right. Having to have that screen switch real quick is tough. Mm-hmm. You have to be very quick. Mm-hmm. And what really irritates me with this game? Okay, we know I stink at it. Everyone else apparently is great at it, because I look at these reviews, and this thing scored the best reviews for any game we've looked at. Almost all in the 90s, well beloved, ported to everything. A long-awaited sequel that came out for it, which was in 3D. I believe it came out on the PlayStation. It was called Heart of the Alien. It was not well received. It was okay, mediocre. But I mean, it was popular to that point. It got remade in 2013. They did a PC and some consoles. Got a remake of it. I guess it was like I guess they'd increase the graphic abilities and up the resolution. And maybe that one will play well.
A modern game that is like this game is called... I should not have began that sentence because I can't remember what it's called. It's got Ninja in the title.
Ninja Gaiden?
No. It's a modern stealth action game that has a ninja. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's on Steam.
No, I got nothing for you.
Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Anyway, it's not rotoscoped, but animation in games now is so good that it's indistinguishable.
Yeah.
But that's what this game reminded me of. Except this game doesn't control as well as that game.
Yeah, and you're right. Now the screen flipping though, common
yeah.
back in the day.
Absolutely.
And it worked okay in some other stuff. But yeah, smooth screen. It makes me wonder why you. Again, other people got it to work. It makes me wonder why you would do it that way, though, if it was such a hassle.
Yeah.
And I think that if the controls for this game could be tweaked, if I could just hit a button and my guy would jump, and if I could tap forward twice to make him run fast, and I could control him, that'd be awesome. I would love to be able to do it, but it all comes out of control for me, and I can't recommend this unless you're a better hand than me, and maybe one of the listeners are. Surely one of y'all are better than I am, I'm sure. If someone out there's beat it or whatever, maybe fill me in, because man, like I said, I owned this game. By the way, I literally sold it last year to raise some Christmas money, and I sold Speedball too at the same time. I got a good price for it, better than what it's looks for now. But part of the reason I didn't mind parting with it is because it pissed me off. It's a beautiful box. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, not my bag.
What is it going for on eBay these days?
It's actually not that bad. Let me dig through my notes here. There are no boxed copies currently out anywhere, which that surprised me. The discs you can get around $13 shipped US dollars. In the past, the boxed versions have went for between $25 and $50. I think I got up near $50 for mine. So I think I sold it for about as much as I paid for it back in the day. But your mileage may vary. Again, I think some of this stuff is just becoming rare.
Yeah.
Because people have learned the lesson I should have learned before I sold my stuff to make Christmas money, and that is
hold on to it.
Hold on to it, because it ain't coming back. That's for sure. There's a lot of stuff that every time I check for prices, I'm just looking through what's available, and it's, and those discs are getting old, so people are taking these things and putting them up, presumably. But yeah, this was a good game. I wish it could have a little more action on it. The funny thing is, now here's a little tidbit I wanted to throw in before we finished up. And I was reading about this, and it really blew me away. When Delphine was approached by US Gold to do the game, they were going to do it they wanted a game based on The Godfather, the movie The Godfather. They had the license for it, and they wanted them to make a game. And Cassette basically said, hey, this would be a good idea. Let's do a futuristic Godfather game. And so that was what they started doing to come up with this game. So US Gold looked at this thing, and they're like, the hell is this? They're like, it's a Godfather game. They're like, this is no good. Futuristic Godfather? No one's going to know what the hell this is. And then US Gold played it, and they said, listen, this is a good game, but this is not for the Godfather. We'll do something else with it. So they ended up changing some stuff and came up with the whole story, fleshed it out. That's where this game came from. So this was supposed to be a Godfather licensed game, which is odd. Now, a Godfather game from US Gold sounds like a bad idea to me.
Oh, yeah.
They
do not have a good track record with licensed properties.
Yeah, no kidding. So, I mean, I guess it could have been a lot worse, right? They could have came up with that. So, I don't know. I wonder if US Gold ever released that Godfather game. Something to look into.
Know.
I'll look that up for next week's show. But I'm guessing that Delphine made the right choice by. And hey, if they'd kept the license, that would have been innovative, if anything. So.
Yeah, we do have a late breaking announcement.
We do,
because I forgot to make it earlier in the show.
Oh boy!
There is a Amiga meetup, the first annual Amiga meetup in Ireland, Amiga Ireland. This is
first, huh?
Yeah, it's the first one ever. It's July 9th, and it's in the Prince of Wales Hotel in Athlone.
You ever been there?
Never been to Ireland. one of the great regrets of going to school in England is that I didn't make the short trip over.
That is unfortunate, isn't it?
The cost is 10 euros per person. This is some of the stuff that you can do there. There's going to be some demo music playing and some chill on the hotel projector.
Awesome.
There's going to be speakers on lots of different topics. There's going to be speed run competitions. There's going to be new Amiga hardware there being demoed and new applications.
Oh, lucky day.
Yeah.
Man.
There's a Sensible World of Soccer or kickoff competition.
Whoa.
So there's
really?
lots of
both?
stuff. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on. Now, hopefully the Sensible World of Soccer fans and the kickoff fans will be able to keep from attacking each other. And there's going to be, door prizes. There's a lunch available. I love this. Carvery lunch. Carvery. What does that mean to you?
Cold cuts?
Maybe that's what that means. That seems like a nice way of saying cold cuts.
They do everything nicer. They look at the hotel name.
Oh, yeah.
It's I go to the Days Inn. They're going to the Royal
that's
such
right.
and such.
Carvery lunch and tea is only 12 euros. So,
is that a good deal?
Yeah.
Like $20, something like that?
No, €12 and the dollar is pretty much equal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But they also have other venues beside the hotel if you want to go and just, wander around and eat where you want. And there's train and bus stops close by. So I want to thank Jarlath for sending me that message on Twitter.
You should absolutely go to this if you're anywhere near. What's the city again?
This is...
What now?
Athlone.
Yeah, that sounds... Boy, I envy you people because we would love to have something like this happen anywhere near us. I mean, anywhere.
Yeah. They're, take advantage of this so there can be a second
Absolutely.
Amiga Ireland, and hopefully the Amigos can make a trip across the pond.
Oh, God, and, that'd be great. Are you kidding me?
And,
support all these little conventions. All of them. Go to every one you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, they will be gone.
Right.
And as people who know what that's like, that stinks.
Yeah. I'd like to thank our show sponsors. We've got Tom Treff, Jonas Rulo. Oh, maybe I should sing them again.
I don't think you should. And don't
Tom
rap them
Treff, Jonas Rulo, Kolbjorn Barben, Mark McDonald, Adam Bradley, Chris Folds, Will Williams, Daniel Bingston, Zach Zimmerman, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Chad Halstead, Brent Dowdy. Did you like that? I put
You're
a
a
little
music
Williams
teacher,
favorite
huh?
in there. What are we going to play next week, Aaron?
What are we going to play?
Well,
I have no idea. The fans have spoken.
Yeah. If you'd like to select which game we play next week, go on over to patreon.com/Amigos podcast and find out how you can be a member of the Amigos Game Selection Committee. We've got some nominations up. Every week we nominate 4 games, and you, the Amigos Game Selection Committee, gets to vote on it, and we do whatever you say. So, we'll find out next week.
Did you tell them what we're going to do this coming week?
Oh, yeah.
That one's already been picked.
Yeah. Never mind. Next week, we know what we're going to play. We're going to play Gianna Sisters. So...
we have to get your brain medicine, Bode.
I've been doing this all day.
Oh, I know. Rub it in.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Amigos. We'll see you next week. Until then, adios.